Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive into the biggest stories in the NFL and especially all things Dallas Cowboys. And today, buckle up, because Cowboys Nation is absolutely on fire and not in a good way. What we're seeing right now is a full-blown eruption among fans, insiders, and former players alike. Emotions are sky high, tempers are flaring, and all of it circles around one of the most controversial and shocking developments in recent team history. That's right, we're talking about the shocking news that Trevon Diggs, yes, the same Trevon Diggs who's been a star cornerback, Pro Bowler, and arguably one of the top talents on the Cowboys defense, has reportedly had his salary reduced. And fans? Well, they're not taking it quietly. In fact, Cowboys fans are losing their minds across social media, on forums, radio shows, and even at training camp. The news has set off a chain reaction that could have massive ripple effects across the roster, the locker room, and possibly even the front office. This isn't your typical salary cap restructuring or a casual financial adjustment. We're talking about a pay cut that many see as a slap in the face to one of the team's most valuable and loyal players. Diggs, who was previously locked into a 5-year, $97 million extension with $42.3 million guaranteed, was supposed to be a cornerstone of the Cowboys' defense moving forward. But following his unfortunate ACL injury last season and a sluggish front office stance on defensive spending this year, the team made a highly unpopular decision to restructure his contract, effectively reducing his 2025 cap hit and base salary. And while some in the building might argue it was a business decision, the backlash from fans has been nothing short of volcanic. To understand why this is such a massive issue, you have to consider what Trevon Diggs means to this franchise. Ever since he was drafted in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft, Diggs has made a name for himself with game-changing interceptions, elite coverage ability, and a passion for competition. In 2021, he led the league with 11 interceptions, the most by a Cowboy since Everson Walls in 1981. His swagger, on-field presence, and brotherhood with teammates like Micah Parsons, Darren Bland, and others helped anchor a defense that ranked among the best in the league. He's not just a player, he's part of the identity of this team. So when the news broke that Diggs agreed to a contract modification that lowered his salary for 2025 by nearly $7 million, fans understandably felt blindsided. The confusion comes from the fact that Diggs isn't even healthy enough to be playing right now. He's still recovering from that ACL tear suffered during a practice session early last season. So to the outside world, the Cowboys taking this moment while he's rehabbing, while he's not even on the field to change his contract, feels opportunistic, cold, and disrespectful. And while the team tried to package the move as a mutual decision that frees up cap space, many fans saw it for what it looked like: an organization taking advantage of a player at his most vulnerable moment. The result? Social media exploded. Hashtags like PayDiggs and CowboysCheap were trending on X, formerly Twitter. Fans started questioning team management's entire offseason approach, pointing out how Dallas has been among the least aggressive teams in free agency and the trade market, yet they're asking their star players to take cuts. It didn't sit well, and it still isn't. The comments flooding in from fans have been nothing short of fiery. One user wrote, "You don't treat your stars like this. Diggs gave his body for this team, and this is how you reward him." Another chimed in, "First Zeke, now Diggs. When will Jerry Jones start valuing loyalty over dollars?" Others pointed fingers directly at Jerry and Stephen Jones, accusing them of turning the Cowboys into a discount store for talent, and questioning why other teams like the 49ers and Eagles continue to pay and retain stars without hesitation, while Dallas nickel and dimes their core players. It's been a rough look for the front office, and the storm doesn't seem to be dying down anytime soon. But it's not just fans who are speaking out. Several former Cowboys players and current NFL veterans have weighed in on the situation, and the reaction is just as sharp. former linebacker Jalen Smith posted a cryptic message on Instagram, writing loyalty only means something when it goes both ways, while ex-Cowboys receiver Dez Bryant flat out said, Diggs deserves better. And even Micah Parsons, arguably the current face of the franchise, liked several posts on social media criticizing the move. While Parsons hasn't spoken publicly about it, his social activity suggests that there's at least some frustration brewing behind closed doors. So what's the logic here from the Cowboys' perspective? The team reportedly needed to free up salary cap space after delaying a long list of pending contract extensions, including deals for Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott. With so many financial commitments looming and so little progress being made on new deals, the front office has been desperate to buy time and flexibility. By reworking Diggs' contract despite the controversy, they saved millions that can now be spread across other deals. But fans aren't buying that logic. If the money is so tight, why hasn't the team offloaded other overpaid veterans or explored trade options to reduce the cap without penalizing a player like Diggs? Why take from the man who's already sidelined? And then there's the optics of it all. Coming just days after reports that the Steelers extended T.J. Watt yet again securing one of their own superstars without drama or delay, the Cowboys' move looks even worse. Pittsburgh continues to model stability and player appreciation, while Dallas appears disorganized, reactive, and borderline ruthless in their decision-making. That comparison hasn't gone unnoticed by fans and media alike. ESPN analysts openly questioned the Cowboys' priorities, while NFL Network insiders hinted that the Diggs camp may be quietly frustrated behind the scenes, even if they publicly agreed to the restructure. So where does this leave us? For one, Trevon Diggs is still expected to be a Cowboy in 2025 and beyond. This wasn't a release, trade, or opt-out. But the implications run deeper than just numbers on a contract. There's now a serious trust issue brewing. And in a locker room filled with young stars watching closely how the team treats their peers, that trust matters. It affects morale, culture, and ultimately performance on the field. How do you tell a guy like CeeDee Lamb that you'll take care of him, when his defensive counterpart just had to take a haircut while recovering from injury? How do you convince a player like Micah Parsons to sign long-term when he sees teammates get undercut financially in their most vulnerable moments? And don't forget the fan base. Cowboys fans are among the most passionate and loyal in all of sports. But that passion comes with expectations of greatness, accountability, and yes, loyalty to those who bleed for the star. Right now, many fans feel that the team has betrayed those values, and that sentiment is creating a real fissure between the organization and its supporters. The timing couldn't be worse either. Training camp is just around the corner, the preseason buzz should be building, and instead of hyping up their Super Bowl chances, the Cowboys are dealing with PR damage control and locker room tension. The bigger question now is what this move says about the overall direction of the franchise. Are the Cowboys tightening the purse strings because they're planning a massive retooling of the roster? Or is this just another example of a reactive front office trying to play financial catch-up after years of cap mismanagement? Fans are demanding answers, and if those answers don't come soon, the anger we're seeing right now could spill over into something more disruptive, like players demanding trades or sitting out, or worse, a fractured team that underperforms under pressure. The next few weeks are going to be critical. Trevon Diggs will eventually speak. Whether it's through his agent, a social media post, or an interview, he'll tell his side of the story. And when he does, the response from fans and players alike will be telling. Will it be a unified front, expressing mutual respect and understanding? Or will we hear frustration, disappointment, or even subtle jabs at the front office? Time will tell, but based on the current temperature around the team, a storm is brewing. So what should the Cowboys do now? If they're smart, they'll find a way to make it right. Maybe that means renegotiating again once Diggs is fully healthy. Maybe it means publicly showing appreciation for his contributions. Or maybe it means making it crystal clear that this was a one-time financial move and not a reflection of how they value him. But whatever they decide, they need to act fast. Because this fan base is already on edge, and another bad PR move could be the tipping point. In the end, this situation is about more than dollars and cents. It's about identity, loyalty, and culture. The Dallas Cowboys are one of the most storied franchises in NFL history, but they've now gone nearly 3 decades without a Super Bowl appearance. And moments like this, when a player like Trevon Diggs is asked to give back money after giving his all, only reinforce the perception that something isn't right at the core. If the Cowboys want to change that narrative, it starts by standing behind their stars, not weakening them in the name of business. Because when you lose the trust of your players and your fans, no amount of cap space can buy it back. Thanks for watching, and if you're just as fired up about this situation as we are, hit that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the Cowboys were justified in asking Diggs to take a pay cut? Or was this a huge misstep that could haunt them moving forward? Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking update on this ongoing story. We'll be keeping a close eye on what happens next.